before I start, who's doing user acquisition? One. Ad monetization? One, two, no. ADTECH? Yeah. Cross promotion? And the rest of the people, what are you guys doing? Fun. Bootstrap. That's why here, good. All right, so at the end, there will be space for questions. So I have a few small sis gifts for the best questions. And let's start. So I'm Damien, one of the co-founder of Tutotunes, and I'm gonna explain how we bootstrap to over 1 billion downloads and how to scale AdTech hypergrowth. So let me first explain, sorry, it's gonna restart. Sorry for that. Let's restart if you like. So, hi, I'm Damien, co-founder of Tutotunes, and here's our story. So, over 100 games published, 1.8 billion downloads, about 50 million monthly active users. Main audience are girls between 3 and 12 years old, and we have about 120 members in our team. We are a global company or the typical market, obviously US being the main one for revenue. And here are our products. So I want to explain a little bit of what we do, our products and our history, because then it helps to explain the journey in the AdTech. So we do a mobile game for kids, mainly for young girls. This is Fluffsies, our main brand. Then we have a brand partnership with LOL Surprise. We do different type of game. This is also brand partnership. This is a princess game, pet games, collectible, and we also have tried many other type of games on the journey and failed many times. But in the end, what works the best for us is kids game. No, we try upper casual, we try other things, but never really succeed. And we're gonna keep trying and keep failing, but we're gonna keep our to our core, and this is our team in Lithuania. So we have offices in Kaunas and Vilnius. And this is our story. So in 2013, actually, in Barcelona, I met one of the co-founder in a startup weekend, and it was a tech startup, okay? And I'll explain later why it's important. Initially, we were educational mobile game builder to create a mobile app for teacher in school without programming, with template, drag and drop. And then we pivoted to be a platform for artists, illustrator, designer to make mobile game on their own. We did that for over 3 years. In the process, we did our own game with internal artists, and some of those games got a lot of traction, millions of downloads, and eventually, after about 3 years and 300 games published, we decided to move from being a platform to being a fully mobile game studio. And obviously, we had a great team and great artists, great developers. Now, it took us about 10 years to reach soon 2 billion downloads, and I'm showing here that the first 3 years basically was mainly focused on cross promotion. We started to do ad monetization 2017, more or less, and then UA from 2019. No? And obviously, these helped to grow, but also having great products helped to grow. So, and a great team. So it's not only about AdTech. So I don't want to take all the, credit for the success. Neither AdTech. So this is the cross promotion. I'll explain in 3 parts: cross promotion, ad monetization, and user acquisition. So when we started, we had only in-app purchases and no paid ads, no ad networks. We were putting some interstitial ads, mainly for cross promotion to cross promote our own games, basically. And we were launching a new game every week, so we definitely needed some cross promotion to push them, and that was the key for us to get success, because every new game we were able to push it out, get users, and get it to the rankings in the algorithm of the stores. Then obviously we use cross-promotion a lot for marketing, apps optimization, to test conversion of click-through rates of icons within our app. So we would have an icon type of button that would then determine what is the best icon and use that for the app store. Then we started to have rewarded ads. We started to put some ad network as a backfill, but it was kind of a random thing because they were contacting us. Then 2017, we started with in-house waterfall, so we built our own tech, and also we started to be able to manage the fill rate. That's why I will explain anytime we build tech tools internally, and having this background as a tech startup, we were not afraid to build our own things. We had developers and we had a support tech team. That's 2018, sorry, we started Tuto Ads as ad network. So initially we were using Chartboost. The first few years it was a free product, it was great, and at some point they were about to stop the free cross promotion, so we had to build our own stuff basically, which turned out to be a good thing because we were safe, and also we were able to optimize the algorithm, with better conversion game to game, and we will be able to play with that. Eventually, that allows us as well to calculate our own eCPM and ROAS, which maybe nowadays a given thing within mediation like Iron Source, you can have cross promotion, but at least we don't have to pay for it, we have our own thing. What are the takeaway from the cross promotion? So cost efficient UA, as long as you have the same type of game, it goes with your audience. Obviously, this is the perfect audience to test, game concept and whatnot. But also, what we've seen is when we were launching a new game that was completely different from our audience, it would not work neither. No, so that's not magical. It has to be the same type of game and audience. Then, about fill rate. So typically, the first years, cross promotion was everything, 80-90% of the traffic. Then nowadays, it's only 10%. And we try to optimize the receipt based on eCPM and ROAS. And for game launch, we would go up to 30% of the whole traffic through the cross promotion. Also, actually, cross promotion for us is better than you at launch because we can have much more volume with actually good quality, safe audience that we know that will like this kind of game. And there's no risk versus UA of spending a lot, learning. We already know our audience, what they like, and how to promote. So we test a lot of ideas through the cross promotion. Again, having their own tech, so it gives a lot of freedom and tailor-made solutions. Data optimization. About ad format, so rewarded, we saw at some point that rewarded format was converting 2 times better than interstitial for our audience, no? And for the eCPM and ad network, the difference was only 20% difference. So that's something that we were able to optimize a lot and take advantage. And overall, so the cross promotion was the main drive to organic growth for the first 5 years before UA. So now moving on to ad monetization, I want to show you here in blue, this is in-app purchases. So we started as in-app purchases at the beginning, and you see it didn't grow that much. And I'll explain a bit what happened here, basically, what changed. As you can imagine, it has to do with monetization. And obviously here, I mean, the spike is not necessarily about UA, it's about good products, but the momentum from ad monetization and some change and other things that were expected. So we started ad monetization in 2016. We started with kids network as backfill, a lot of huge seasonality, was like old style deals, that amount of volume for that price, like old school contract. So we had to deliver. That's actually one of the reasons we built the waterfall. We will to make sure we can control how much we give them. I mean, that's like 7-8 years ago. So we didn't have as much ad tech tools now. So then keep testing SDK network, and important one was the ad quality with safe decay. that was a great tool for us to guarantee the quality of the ads within the app for the impressions, as basically we have game for kids, so you cannot show any type of ads, and that was key later on to the scale and success. But all only the content, but also the quality, the format, making sure it's easy to close, and any bugs and whatnot. Then 2018, so a big change was I started to test basically ads monetization versus in-app purchases. No, so because we had all the games in the builder, it was easy for me to just play around and change. Basically added rewarded on some special item, decoration, makeup, special pink item, whatnot. And so up until then, half of the game was always blocked with in-app purchases, basically from like 2, 3, 4, 5 euros. And we removed that. So actually, instead of having only maybe 1% of the users to play our games, now they could all play the game. No? So I mean, you spend a lot of time and investment to build a nice game, and only 1% of people can see all of it. So it's a bit of a shame. But not only that, I mean, so what happened is we realized, okay, we would have the same revenue if we put ads instead of purchases. Okay, but most importantly, actually, we would have a much better retention. We would have much better rating on the App Store. Session time, all these nice metrics for the algorithm were better. So we started to scale that in many more games. Obviously, that means we had much more ads inventory to fill. So we started to add more, SDK network, look at mediation. And then something really important happened. I guess it was just timing and luck. In, I think, about May, June, July 2018, Google algorithm changed. There was a massive change in the market where most people lost 50, 60, 70% of their organic traffic from one day to the next. No, everyone was upset. A lot of people, fired the team because of that, and so we were affected as well. For a few months we lost a lot of organic downloads. But eventually, because of those tests we were doing, we realized some games were doing better than others. Okay, and we started to do more tests because we had a lot of games. We were able to test different things, different variables, and we realized that one of the key factor of this new algorithm was actually retention. It was actually all these nice metrics of user like your game and spend a lot of time in it and don't delete the game and these kind of things. No? So we made a lot of change. We did a lot of QA and app update and changed many things in the games, in like 50, 60 games. And months after months, we would see, okay, this is working, this is working. So we would build up a lot of organic growth. More ads inventory, and obviously scaling all the things. So that was a really exciting time. 2019, we started to have mediation iron source. I mean, up until now, just to give you an idea, we were only 2 people, me and Stefano, managing all these things. Obviously with the QA and some support with the tech team, but in terms of optimization, it was only 2 people. It was only me until 2018, I believe, and 2019 I got some help. So we started to scale more ads, more network, more mediation, and also having a team for the monetization, having a team for the ad quality. So someone was full-time checking all the ads, all the campaigns of brands and anything that was advertised in our games, and blacklisting maybe 20, 30 different apps or type of product advertised in our games. And that was really key to be able to say, okay, we can scale, we can get so much ads in our games, because I had an internal battle with my co-founders and the team to say, okay, are you sure, Damien, we're not going to kill our business showing so much ads, Kids maybe don't like ads, parents don't want to see ads, no? But eventually there was kids to success. And then, the last 4 years we've been, keep on scaling and testing and try to add more partners and whatnot. So typical thing. So to sum up a little bit the key to success here, so test, measure, iterate, always testing new partners, build your own tech and tools, add quality, seeing what's happening into your game, not only the campaigns and be able to block them, but also any bad behavior of click to close an ad or these kind of things that was happening already 4 or 5 years ago. We were one of the first ones to use these ad quality tools, at least in the kids market. Then challenge the game monetization. So we moved from in-app purchases to ads. Nowadays we hybrid. We actually still mainly ads, but we also have in-app purchases, and now we're moving a lot to subscription. QA team. So we had a great QA team. We had a dashboard. We have a lot of process and tech to be able to update so many games. I mean, in average, we would update all our games every 2-3 months. So basically, you have 2-3 people full time just doing that all the time, and that was really key to success because always SDK update and bugs and whatnot. The waterfall power was huge because we were able to say no to ad networks if the quality was not good. We were able to control. Nowadays you put everything on mediation and you have not much control. You just lost all the control. So we still have that actually. And we did a lot of kind of startup hack and JavaScript, from chat boosts, all the ECPM on the dashboard of the ad network, which nowadays is a bit different. But back then we were a small team. We had to do all this thing. And then when you have so much growth and so much, geos and apps, and so you had to focus on the top priority. So we always try to use the 20-80 rule. So 20%, bring 80% of the revenue, 20% of the game, 20% of the geos. And overall, the main rule was like, okay, let's do the US. It was 60% of the revenue, and then all the rest we just copy paste. And when we have time, we'll do it, and we never really have time, basically. And using granular data when possible to really look at what's happening at the format level, so like rewarded US, interstitial US, all these kind of things. Now, talking about UA, so this is the growth in UA spend, basically. So we started about 4K a month in January. I started, in January 19. And in 2021, we were spending nearly, let's say, $1 million. So that was huge growth. And obviously, you can see there also the spikes are seasonality with kids, and maybe some tests we've done also. It was a bit overboard. So initially, we started with Google Ads. I saw, we never thought that we could do UA with kids game, not talking about attribution and all the compliance data, legal issues, and the fact that the money you make on a kids game is super low. How are you going to compete with other type of game? It's crazy. But I guess I just started. Maybe some Google guy was pushing me, or I don't know. I just got a budget for it. We say, okay, we're going to spend that money. We'll see that happen. We learn something, and then we saw. With really bad calculation of revenue per install versus more or less what we could earn there. I mean, no ROAS, no metric, no nothing, just, kind of random numbers. We saw, okay, that makes sense, no? So we keep making more tests, we update the app to get the tracking SDK, all this thing, no? Another QA update. And then, by the end of the year, we had like hundreds of campaigns on Google Ads for all, top geos, top games. And we were, using this kind of campaign management tool. We just, you have a tool, you have kind of Excel, CSV file, and you upload anything. So we were doing, campaign at scale and launching one campaign, I think, every day or every 2 days, so not do everything at once, but to keep it natural because we would compete with our own games. And we were like still, 2 people basically managing UA in that month. It was high risk, we would try to manage also the 20-80 with the campaign spend. We look only at the one that spent the most money and try to figure out. And the one that didn't pick up, we would just kill them and relaunch. So it was kind of fun. And then, we started to look more into the next year into data and measuring, especially obviously attribution. So we figured out something for Google Ads back then. I think with Firebase, we were able to do some attribution because it was Google and Firebase, so it worked. But then, moving on to more scale, we had to go through, SDK, and that needed some attribution, MMP, So we try all of them, AppFlyer, Adjust, but only Singular were the one able to understand what we needed, what was really COPPA compliant, because all the other ones say, it's going to be COPPA compliant, but it was not. And I don't know how it is nowadays, but Singular was the only one that actually made something especially for us that then they will be able to sell to other players. But we had a lot of calls with lawyers and tech people and all these attribution partners, and eventually that was key. Otherwise, I mean, we worked very hard for that. We did some Apple ads. We started there. I mean, it was difficult to scale, but it was nice to start there because up until that, actually, we never had much iOS App Store players. So UA was really a big change for that. It really helped us to grow our audience there. And we hired a UA consultant. So that was also something very important to help us, make sure we understand what we do, because actually nobody in the team never done neither ad monetization or UA. So we were just, I was just learning on the go basically. It was good to have a UA consultant to kind of ask the right question, make sure we not going crazy all the way around, especially on SDK network, and then to help structure the team, the process, and all that. Also kind of help with the ad network's communication with the account manager. And then, we just kind of scaled, the team, the process, data. We had a lot of issues with data, obviously, and tracking and ROAS and all these kind of things. We focused more to the creative optimization, CPA campaign, all the things you can do and imagine. And the last 2 years, so we have more stability. We haven't grew that much UA. We tried still more things like DSP and whatnot, but I think we understand where we can get our users, and there are limitations with kids where you can advertise actually. And now the big game is about subscription. So because subscription, you have a higher LTV, so you can bid higher, and we're still building that data and attribution and ROAS, because it's different, type of tracking. Main takeaway, take risk, be bold. So that was for the Google Ads when we started. It was really risky. We actually became an expert before iOS 14.5 because, like 1 or 2 years before, because basically the problem that this created, we were already solving it 1 or 2 years before, because we couldn't track data in a compliant way because of kids market. No? So for us, when this came, we were like, okay, well, what's going to be different? Okay, no difference. Well, actually, the difference for us was that now everyone has the same fair play rules. No? So, and, no one in the team actually had experience about UA, so everyone learned, but we got really good at understanding the data, all the pipes, let's say, between ADTECH and, UA, ad networks, tracking, MMPs, all the rules. So we were ready. Each change, we feel ready. It's always difficult, it's always challenging, but that really build a strong base. So, embrace challenges, opportunity, like this COPPA compliant rule for the kids. Scaling process versus growth mindset. So what I realized looking back, is when we grew the team from 2 to 10 people, we built a lot of processes to be able to control the spend, because you're spending, 2-3 million a year. You want to make sure you don't overspend. But at the same time, the more you create process, the more people don't think, and then that means they're not ready to go to the next level. No, they're not experienced enough, they're not confident enough, they don't have this mindset of challenging things, and that's something that's difficult to change once this is in place. And obviously, people in the team has been key, not only internally, but also all these business partner, tech partner, ad network, all this account manager has been very important relationship. I have a few stories about that. So this is the last slide about takeaways overall. So timing is key. So that means first for the product. Okay, so we started, kids game in 2013, 14, when it was early market. There was no much game for young girls on mobile. Nowadays it's much more competitive. We had some timing luck with the algorithm of Google. Also, we started to do amortization in UA when it was early and, let's say, yeah, early days in the mobile gaming market. So having so many downloads, we would get attention from Google or from iron source back then that nowadays we don't really have, right? And that was really helpful to have this direct contact, to be have access to beta versions, special things that if you're a small player you don't get, or nowadays it's so competitive. No, I mean, like when Aerosource was growing so much, 2-3 years before IPO, they were really active and giving a lot of support that nowadays is different. Invest obviously in your own tech, in data, in the team, in the long term. That's a great asset. But also sometimes if you scale fast, it's good to outsource. No, so having a UA consultant, that help you to, take better decision faster and maybe save money or earn more money faster. Really knowing your own data, your analytics, taking ownership, okay, and that's go for understanding any bug with data, with tech, anything with the file, CSV, modeling your data when you don't have the data, when there's a bug, ROS estimation, organic uplift, K factor, all these metrics, and then always challenging the data you get from your ad tech partners with your own data if possible. No, so we always try to track the same data internally, so you can challenge. Okay, this is the annual revenue that they give us on the dashboard, but always check and control because there are always some bugs, let's say. So challenge everything. Doing Anmon and then UA really gave us edge because we were understanding both sides. I think what I've seen in the industry is always a different department of amortization in UA, and having both and the cost promotion would really help us to understand better what we're doing. And obviously coordinate internally with product marketing, finance, C-level, everything we do. Be careful with the ad tech partners. So my experience is, some companies are really here for the long term and some are more just to make money in the short term. So it's good to detect that and always be testing, and always be testing. And ideally, weekly we would test something new, basically. And again, without a great team and without great products, you can have the best ad tech, but not gonna go very far. So, actually this is on the left. Stefano is the guy that really helped me to scale and then scale the team. And nowadays, actually, everything is so structured and processed that he's able to move out as from the lead of the team and moving in different part of the company. So that's it. Thank you so much. If you want to connect, this is my LinkedIn. You can write me there. And now, if you have any questions, you'll get some nice small stories. 3 of them. So 3 questions. 1, 2. Okay, you first.
First of all, thank you for explaining the process. It's amazing. Over a decade, you said you started a lot, so it's amazing. So thanks for that.
Thank you.
I couldn't notice, from noticing that you didn't mention COVID. Was 1 or even 2 years.
Yeah, COVID helped for sure. You can go back to the slide. What's the question?
No, what was the advantages, the disadvantages that the COVID brought? Where was it a risk? Was it a good business term?
COVID was great. I mean, it was great for the business for sure. We grew 20-30% in terms of revenue, and that's probably something that helped here. Obviously, it never didn't stop, so it was not only that, but I mean, doing kids games, basically, we couldn't dream anything better than having US kids out of school with the parents in the home that needs to get some entertainment. So, well, you just grow not much downside basically. unless the uncertainty of what's going to happen, what to do, and yeah. I mean, we actually got much more traffic and impressions, so we were not necessarily feeling, no, our network were not ready for that, but more cross promotion for us, so it was not a big issue. So first one. Okay, second question was here. I think the third one was here. Yeah, sorry. You're welcome. Yeah, thanks. That's a great question. Yeah, the last 2 years we saw this trend of like ECPM kind of same, and then UA nearly double the price. So what are my thoughts? Yeah, we thought about doing mediation. It's difficult to create good ad tech, no? And build it that make that it works, and then having all the sales team and whatnot. ADTECH is doing some mediation. We want to test it. We're always testing new things on the side. Gravite is also doing some mediation independently. Building your own tech, I mean, unless you're a big player, doesn't make any sense, basically. And for us, it made sense to have our own ad network because it was the key cross promotion, and we had so many games that we were depending on that. But we only did it also because Chatbot was closed. I hope there will be new players in this market because I've seen the trend since the IPOs, and it's not looking great. So yeah, I believe there will be that because everyone is complaining about uploading and iron source. So yeah, so I believe what you need something that is independent, neutral. So without their own ad network, doesn't make any sense. Not talking about all the other company that they own. And I believe it's coming now. I mean, there's more and more, plug-in. I see, I've seen the evolution in that market at least, no, and I also in the kids market as well. There's still like big advertiser in the US that haven't tapped yet into mobile games. So I think that will happen in the next 2 years, where everything will be plug-in, through DSPs and big players, but in a fair market, hopefully. Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. Automation for success of what? Monetization, UA, monetization, cross promotion, everything. Yeah, so what I'd like to get is a tool that's, is smart enough to understand each type of players and offer a different monetization kind of on the spot based on how much they play, they interact, how much ads is good for them. Should we move to in-app purchases or should we move to subscription? So regulating that, no, and even ideally in the game itself, not changing assets based on that or offering different type of mini game based on what they like, no. So something very much personalized. I mean, having buckets and modeling that out, but that I think would be more powerful for engagement because we're still doing the same game for every player, no, and the same attack and behavior for every player. So the same goes for UA, no? From ad creative up to the experience in the gameplay could be very different, no? So if you can offer the same experience that you are advertising inside the game, that would be different and personalized. That would be amazing. Yes, I guess if we haven't done it, it's because we believe it's too expensive, too risky, and also we have so many games. If we had maybe more one big game, that would make more sense. Like if you are, I don't know, maybe Angry Bird or this kind of, Talking Tom, maybe. Um, we never been that good with data in general, and it takes very strong team, and actually one of the issue we had and still have is we are based in Lithuania, no? And having great talent with experience in UA or um, you know development of this kind of tool is not that easy, right? So that's one of the limitations we have, and the whole UA team, they never did UA before basically, no? So we just train very junior people to do it. So it has ups and down, yeah, for sure. Thanks. Last question. Well, if you reach on LinkedIn, I'll figure out something. Thanks. Yeah, so give me a lot of thoughts. No, no, it's good. So we tried hyper casual. We did about maybe 20 games or kind of MVP, we outsourced the publishing actually with those big studios just to kill them fast and iterate because we didn't have the audience anyways and the expertise. Didn't work very well and it was very competitive. I don't know, like 4 years ago, hyper casual, no, it was the hype. And recently we did a VR game. Still early days for family type of games on VR. But still learning from that. We recently experienced with midcore, but again, this is not really our what we know and we do best, no. So what we know and do best is for kids, and we need to keep focusing on that. Now we are launching a YouTube channel, the major brand like Fluffsies. We are having toys like these ones on our main brands. So Talking Tom, what I'm laughing is, they've never been in the kids officially. So they've always been, in a gray area. So that's why I'm a little bit, smiling, but behind I'm actually a little bit, upset because it was a big discussion with some ADTECH players, like why do they are compliant and we were not, and doing things that we're in the middle. But it's still a small industry to a certain extent, and life isn't fair sometimes. But yeah, there's more things we can do for sure. But kids market is what it is, and we have really game for kids, and Talking Tom actually is not only for kids. So you have older type of players, and we never managed to move much out of that. So we try many things. That's what we do, and didn't turn out too bad, Not yet. All right, thank you.